So, when I was a kid, I used to have these rice pudding wraps every single evening in my bedroom. Because one of the things that used to piss me off the most was when I'd be playing Xbox. I'd be playing Call of Duty 4 or Halo 3 most likely. And I'd be playing online with one of my mates. And we'd be in the middle of a game. And I didn't like letting my mates down. And what would happen is my mum, mid-game, would shout at me. The kitchen was directly below my bedroom. And she would just look up and she would go, "Tom, bring your bowls, bring your plates, bring your cutlery downstairs and wash it all up because we've got none in the cupboards and I want something to eat." That's what she'd say. And it used to piss me off because it was her house and she had the right to have her bowls and her cutlery and all that shit. So I had to do it, but I didn't want to do it because I was lazy. One, I would have rather just been playing Xbox and not pausing and getting shot. And two, I just didn't like the idea of going downstairs and washing up and being like a fucking gay fuck, washing some fucking dishes. Like, it was just not what I wanted to do. And if we really deep, I probably didn't understand it at the time. If we really deep the definition of a man, and I think we all know it internally, it's the ability to do what we want to be doing at all times, right? You should be stubborn about that. You should be trying to create real autonomy. So anyway, what I did was, because that used to piss me off and I had to go down, used to interrupt my game and would probably lose when I'm playing with my mate, I decided, I had my creative mind, I switched it on, I started using a bit of that first principle thinking muscle instead of a monkey brain that just does as he's told and just thinks that that's the right thing to do. I decided that what would be a great idea would be to just put whatever food I was eating, whether it was rice pudding, whether it was yogurt, doesn't matter. I would just put it inside a wrap. Because what that would mean was I could contain it. I could bring it up to my bedroom. I could play Xbox. I could do whatever I wanted to be doing. And then when I was eating it, I didn't have anything left. I had no cutlery. I had no plates. I had no bowls. I had no wrappers. I didn't have to take stuff back down. It was just very, very efficient. I was effectively just eating the container, eating the packaging, and it tasted good too. So, you know, people used to be like, "What did you have?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I had a rice pudding wrap." And they'd be like, "That's so weird." And I'm like, "You don't know why." And you start to like it anyway. It was actually elite. All right, I recommend it to anybody. But that single trait of being lazy and being stubborn to what I want to do at all times has definitely been the most valuable trait I've carried forward from my childhood, being labeled lazy, right? Into my current life at 25 years old as an entrepreneur, business owner. That's hands down been the most impactful trait I've carried through to have the biggest impact. The reason I have so much autonomy, not just financially, but internal peace, internal alignment, like I'm doing what I want to be doing at all times. Like, you can have financial autonomy, but you don't have real life autonomy. You're doing stuff you don't want to do. It feels out of alignment. It's shit. I am only ever doing the highest leverage shit and what I want to be doing, right? And what does that mean? It means I'm only doing what I want to be doing, so life is fucking good. And two, I only work on the highest leverage stuff. I don't work on the second or the third or the fourth. Most people who try and start a business or try and scale a business, they try and look at what's everything I can do with my time, and I'm going to do all of it. I just go, what's the number one thing that's going to get the most out? And that's the only thing I'm going to do. And that's exactly what I did. And one of the main things when I have a coaching brand, different offers. I've got my performance, my elite program, physique, mindset, high performance. I've got my brand program, like how to actually build coaching companies or sell your value online, whether you're an agency or consulting. And one thing I didn't like when I came in the industry and I had this value and I wanted to give it away, the norm in the industry was make cringy content and then put like VAs or setters in accounts and then tell them to go on a sales call and whatever. And I was like, this is so fucking gay. Like, I don't want to do this. And I was very stubborn to that. I was like, I don't want to do that. But the issue is most people just copy what the whole industry does because they just use their monkey brain. They just do what everyone else is doing. And I was like, one, I'm too lazy. I'm not doing sales calls. I'm not sitting, not because I don't like people. I just know it's not the most leverageable thing I can do with my time. Like, I want to help the most amount of people. So as much as it might be directly helpful, me being on a one-on-one sales call with someone and sending them into something that's actually going to change their life, it would be way better, it would be way more ethical of me, for myself and for the world, if I didn't do sales calls and I could continue just speaking to everyone, right? So I was like, fuck this shit, I'm not doing sales calls. I just need to learn, and no one was doing it at the time, I need to learn how to create content in a way which allows people to get to know me, to now know me, from not knowing me, to now understanding that I can help them get the outcomes they want and needing to buy my offer in order to do that, and then helping them through that transformational process. All in the content. Because sales calls, it's a waste of time. I'm only speaking at one person at once. That's never going to allow me to have the impact I want, and as a byproduct, scale to the income. And two, if I then put, let's say right now you want us to join one of my coaching programs, Elite or Brand. I don't like the fact that other companies would be like, okay, well, now you have to take half an hour out of your diary, book in for a call. It's not going to be with me. It's going to be with some fucking loser who has nothing to do with my company, who I pay 15% commission to, who's simply just trying to close your fucking ass and doesn't give a fuck about anything ethical about you, right? I don't like that. I don't like, one, giving this guy 15% profit margin, right? And two, because he doesn't value my brand how I value my brand as a business owner. And two, it's inauthentic. You want to be dealing with me, right? You're like, if someone's buying into my brand, they should be dealing directly with me. So what I did was I had to learn how to set up my content correctly, how to set up my lead flow infrastructure correctly, and my sales process. So I only sell now either by a direct sales page where they can just check out online, or through chat, nice and easy. Okay, so effectively they come through an application form or whatever, or from some lead resource, and they come through, and then I speak with them, me personally, on this phone, and then I help them get where they want to go, and I show them the offer which is most aligned if I think that I can help them with what they're wanting to do, and I can filter it. And then I just send them the offer and I send them the link and they just check out and go, right? It's like a 2-minute process, and I can be having 100 conversations at once. When I'm dealing with too much volume, I just send it only to a self-checkout. And therefore their only point of contact is always with me, right? And I can be helping more people at the same time. Because if you have a coaching brand is the most ethical thing you can have on the planet. You are giving value to help someone. So you need to be trying to help as many people as possible. So that's just kind of where I'm going, guys. You should be really stubborn. You shouldn't look at, you gotta question reality. Your reality is caused by your perception. Now, if you just have the same perception as everyone else, that's all you're gonna get. You have to start thinking, what do I want my business to look like? What do I want my reality to look like if I'm actually biologically aligned? Okay? And instead of thinking, oh, other people don't do that, start asking yourself the question, what would need to be true in order to get that outcome? And then go to work on creating truth, right? Your life right now is what you perceive truth to be in life. You have to change the truth that you want. So I can be living life like this because I see this as truth. And your life, your habits and your actions and everything follows your truth. If you're in a brand right now making $8,000 a month and you're doing sales calls and stuff, that's because you perceive that that's to be truth on how you do it, right? Change the truth. Be stubborn, be lazy, only do what you want to be doing at all times. That's the definition of a man, right? And don't just think on behalf of your own money, think on behalf of what's the biggest impact, what's actually the most scalable. Now, most people bottle it because they're scared, they think it won't work. Well, you're better off just getting in the right vehicle from the start. Okay, what's the highest leverage thing you can do? What would need to be true? So for me, when I remove sales calls, even I can sell without even chats. I have to understand human psychology at a very good level. I have to understand the whole selling process, and I can do that at masses to everyone so they can make a decision for themselves. They can help sell themselves on the right thing to move forward, as opposed to just being force closed by some person that doesn't give a fuck about them. And therefore, then when everyone joins my brand, I know they're all exactly the right person because they've made the decision for themselves. So when someone applies to it with me, when someone works with me and they jump in today, just like a couple of guys this morning, they made that decision for themselves. They know they're in the right place. And I openly say, I am not going to persuade anyone to join my programs. You come to me when you know it's right for you. If you want to get in savage shape, you want to build your mindset, you want to get high frequency, you want to be aligned, you want to master your daily process, become the 7-figure physiology and psychology, the man who is undeniable not to have everything he wants, which is always phase 1. And you should continue doing that to go to every new level. You need a new you. Right? That's where guys are going my elite. And people who want to build the brand authentically, build it one of one, without all the gay shit, cold outreach, without ads, without all this stupid sales calls. I help guys do that and build 7-figure brands. Or even guys who just have an idea, I help them start. I've had guys go 0 to 10K in a month. Be lazy, get to the high potent truth and just do the truth. You know, I've had some, openly, they would say to me, I'm not an intelligent guy, Tom, I'm lazy as well. And I just did exactly what you said, it was easy. You know, and they went on to do fucking 10 grand in their first month. I've had guys go from 7 to 72K in a few months. Yeah, lazy, be lazy, but just have the potent information and only action the most potent thing. Everyone's too busy overthinking and everyone's too busy spending their time doing things that don't get outcomes. Productivity isn't how long you can focus. Productivity is what is the outcome you're getting and are you aligned? That's it. Be lazier, guys.